Hello. Welcome aboard, Leonard. Welcome aboard. Who else? Eddie Heckman. Nice to see you. Okay, sound. So you should be able to see me in video and on the side in video and up above in the Spreaker. Good morning. Today is Saturday. We are going to go through games. Lenny wanted to take the day off, so you get me. Aren't you lucky? There was a lot of games yesterday and a lot of stuff happening, so let's get right to it. We'll start off with the Padres. Maybe I should wait for the Padres until Malpal gets up. He was up late last night, so it's kind of weird that I know that, but let's hold off on the San Diego game and skip to the Giants. The Giants and the Diamondbacks. 6 pitchers. Okay, so this is how crappy it is for starting pitchers who only go 3 innings, and then a guy pitches an inning, an inning, an inning, an inning. So it was Clark who pitched 3 innings, and then after that there was 6 more pitchers, and there was 4 holds given out and 1 save given out and a win. Every other pitcher besides the starting pitcher got either a hold, a save, or a win. I just think it's a ripoff for starting pitchers because the reliever only has to come in for 1 out or one inning and they get the win. Anyway, he faced 18 batters. Kettle Marte hit. Guess how many home runs Kettle Marte has on the season now? 2. That's right, 2. And Leonard, guess who got a save for Arizona yesterday? I'll give you 1 guess. Hi, Taco. Eddie Heckman, nice to see you. Al Cola's here, nice to see you too. Kevin Ginkel got his first save yesterday. 22 pitches, 4 batters, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. And hopefully that will be just a little taste of what's to come, so I don't have to eat my words with Lenny for the rest of the season. We got into a big old fight about whether or not we should draft Archie Bradley. And so I, of course, did not want to draft Archie Bradley. Anyway, Brandon Belt hit his 6th home run. Anderson, 4 innings pitched for San Francisco, 7 hits, 4 earned runs. The big thing, though, on San Francisco, I think there's a couple surprises on this team. Like Wilmer Flores has been decent, like absolutely rosterable. And, Carl Yastrzemski's grandkid, who we thought was going to be a career minor league player because he's 30 years old now and he's actually really good. He's been extremely good this year. I don't think very many people expected that just because where did he come from? Like what changed? He's 30 and he's batting .309 with 7 home runs. He leads the National League with 23 walks. So he's, looking good. We'll see what happens the last 20 games of the season. Dodgers beat Colorado 10-6. John Gray's been concerned about his velocity lately and his location, his velocity and his location, but they put him on the 10-day injured list yesterday, retroactive to September 2nd. So he should be eligible to come back the 12th. He's got shoulder inflammation. I actually chose John Gray in DFS last week, and he was excellent for me. So, I think he's a great pitcher. I wish he pitched somewhere other than Colorado, but in certain matchups, I think he's really great for DFS daily. He is on the DL. He's on the IL. That's what we call it now because we're politically correct in this place for sure. Ramiel Tapia hit his first home run. Sam Hilliard hit his 6th home run. I really didn't think Hilliard has been that good, and I was actually pretty surprised when I saw that he has 6 home runs. Kevin Pillar, home run number 5, and Dustin May, 5 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. He did give up 2 home runs, and he's got a 2.88 ERA on the season. So the Dodgers hit 5 home runs and stole a base yesterday. Cody Bellinger stole his 4th base. This guy has been a complete disappointment in my opinion, I haven't actually looked that close, but there was a couple players where I was thinking to myself that I was really surprised to see that they um, were actually hitting, like Max Muncy. Okay, Max Muncy. Did it say that he hit his 10th home run yesterday? Because I have been kind of annoyed at Max Muncy on my teams. Maybe I'm just not looking on the right days or whatever, but Will Smith hit a home run, number 5, AJ Pollock, number 8. Jock Peterson hit a home run. I mean, this is obviously the best hitting team in the National League. I think that's probably true. The Twins hit really good. They're in the American League, but I do think that the Dodgers are clearly the best hitting team in the National League, except for San Diego. I don't know. I just am. I'm really excited for San Diego. I think that they're probably the most exciting thing for me at this point in the season because they haven't made the playoffs in 14 years, and they're number 2 in run differential right now. And I wish that they didn't have to compete with the Dodgers because I think that the momentum that you get. I don't know. Hopefully, they won't have to actually play against the Dodgers in the first round of the playoffs. We'll have to see. Anyway, they're going to the playoffs. That's all there is to it. And I would wait for Malpal, but I'm not going to. They are going to make the playoffs the first time in 14 years. Zach Davies, he's been excellent. He's got a 2.23 ERA on the season. He threw 7 innings yesterday, allowed 4 hits. He did walk 4, but he struck out 5. And Fernando Tatis, I mean, what can you say about Fernando Tatis? He hit his 14th home run yesterday. He entered the game leading the National League in runs, homers, RBIs, and WAR. He's back in the leadoff spot for the first time in 3 weeks. He went 2 for 5 with a double and a 7th inning home run. And the fact that it's his number 14 of the season, this guy is just clutch. And he's just got a great demeanor to him. When you see him, the confidence that he has when he enters into the batter's box, he's excellent. I think he's great. I love the fact that Machado is hitting really well. He's hit 12 home runs now, another one last night. Luzardo. So I bet this was really a tough game for Malpal because he's a big fan of Luzardo, and he entered this season with a lot of shares of Luzardo. So I bet he was torn since he's a huge San Diego fan. But I think when it comes down to it, your team, like San Diego, I'm sure is more important than Luzardo getting a win, unless he's fighting with George for first place, in the AL only league that we have, and he needs a win. But Luzardo didn't cut it. He pitched 4 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 strikeouts. He's got a 4.23 ERA on the season. Another player that's unexpected for San Diego is Cronenworth, Jake Cronenworth. He's like, I don't even know. I recognize his name, but if you would have asked me about him heading into the season, I would have known nothing about him, just like I know nothing about him now. But he's batting .348. He's a rookie. He's got 3 home runs, and he plays, guess what? All 4 infield positions. So that's pretty helpful in fantasy. Moving on. We have a lot of games today, fellas. Lots of games today. One other thing, Brusdar Graterol. He got his 4th or 6th, number 6, hold number 6 yesterday, which I wasn't really paying attention, but he's quietly having a good rookie season. Ellinger, I told you that. And then the Reds, Luis Castillo, this is game 1. Luis Castillo pitched 6 innings. He's not having a great season, but he at least got his ERA under 4 now. It's 3.95. He pitched 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 2 walks. He struck out 8. That's a good sign. He's 1-5, even after last night's win. He faced 26 batters, and it took him 93 pitches, and I think that's pretty efficient pitch count. Iglesias got a save. Wait a minute. Yes. Castellanos. When I see Castellanos, I'm like, what? Whoa. Castellanos is on Detroit. No, he's not. He's on Cincinnati now, but he hit a home run, number 11. He's having a great season. He is on our mixed league team, the league that Lenny and I are leading by like 20 points. I've never even seen anybody lead by that many points, but football's coming and we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves because we could lose all of those points just if we have a shitty football team. We'll have to see. But Stephen Brault lost. He's 0-2 now. He made it through 4 2/3, 3 earned runs, a home run allowed. He's got a 4.37 ERA. He's pretty efficient with his pitch count too, though. 23 batters, but 96 pitches in 4 2/3. He should have made it like he should have. Well, Castillo did it in 6 innings. So anyway, Josh Bell is so bad that I have dropped him. I have just completely dropped him. I did not even try to trade him. He's that bad. He made his 3rd error yesterday. Polanco hit 2 doubles and has got his 14th RBI. So Eric Gonzalez, this guy is a leadoff batter for Pittsburgh, and he is 29 years old, just like Yaz. Actually, he's a year younger than Yaz, but he's having a decent season. Like, the fact that he bats leadoff is great. It gives him opportunities to score a lot of runs. He hit his 8th double yesterday. He was left on base 3 times, so he's definitely getting on base. And if you need like a middle infielder, which I can't imagine because middle infield is super deep, but I have him on my roster in a couple different leagues. I'm pleased with what he's been doing. He's not excellent, but he is definitely not hurting you in any way. In the last 15 games and 58 at bats, he has 8 RBIs, 1 home run, 5 runs, and a 269 batting average, a 344 on base percentage. So he might be worth picking up. I really am happy that I did the show today because Saturday is a great day to get ready for Sunday to pick up players. And usually I'm waiting till the very last minute, and I always think that things are going to take less time than they actually take. So by Sunday night at about 8 o'clock, I'm like scrambling to figure out like who I should pick up and all of this. So just getting ready for that early is a great feeling. And we'll talk about a couple players along the way that I think that might be good pickups. So we'll just kind of combine it all together. Let's go to game 2 with my boy Trevor Bauer. It said something about Trevor Bauer he's leading the league in complete games. I think this is true. He's leading the league in complete games, or he's leading the leagues in complete games, but he's not pitched past 7 innings this season. So figure that trivia out. This is because these 7-inning doubleheaders that we're doing, I mean, that's pretty cool. That might be something that never gets broken just because. Anyway, Bauer 6 innings yesterday, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's got his ERA up to 2.05. It took him 100 pitches, 25 batters. What can you say? I'm very pleased with Trevor Bauer and what he's doing. I don't know what's going to happen to him next year. I mean, it's imperative that he pitches well this year because everybody knows about his bet that he made with his friend. And I'm sure that nobody is going to like hold it against him if he changes his mind. And he would have to change his mind on a 1-year contract if he didn't pitch well this year, because nobody's going to give you that much money for a 1-year contract if you're not pitching well. But if you are pitching well, think of the money. He could get like $20 million in a season. Just because of the fact that teams don't want to invest long-term in pitching. They don't want to invest long-term in anybody. I don't blame them. So if players can get the security that they want in less time, in less years, and teams don't have to be on the hook for years way past the pitcher or the hitter's prime, it's a great deal for both. It's a great deal for both the team and the pitcher. So it's going to be exciting to see what Trevor Bauer can accomplish with his 1-year contract idea that he bet his friend, and so his friend gets to shoot him in the balls with a paint gun if he signs longer than 1 year. But I mean, we'll see. I think at this point he's done great. Well, I'm very excited to see who and how much he gets. Eugenio Suarez has been this is one I was thinking to myself, Eugenio Suarez, he's been horrible this year. He's batting like 180 or something. And I'm constantly looking at him in daily and I'm thinking, gosh, he's got to hit sooner or later. And Moustakas too. They got to hit sooner or later. They both hit home runs yesterday. Actually, Suarez has 9 home runs on the season, which is not bad at all. He drove in 2 yesterday, and his RBI total is 22, which is right up there with the rest of the decent hitters in baseball. Moustakas, not so great. 3 home runs. He's been hurt. Hopefully he's back. One of the most reliable hitters in baseball. Maybe not so much anymore. Age is obviously going to become a factor with him very soon. He drove in his 11th RBI. And Shogo Akiyama, what a disappointment so far. He did hit a double yesterday, his 4th double. Ke'Bryan Hayes, third base rookie, third baseman. He's batting 273. He went 2 for 3 yesterday in game 1. With 1 strikeout and a run scored. And then in game 2, he went 1 for 2 and made it on base both times. He walked and hit the last 4 games. Oh, no, he walked and got a hit. And then in the last 4 games, which are the only 4 games that he's played in the major leagues, he's hitting 357 with a home run, 2 RBIs, 4 runs, and 14 at bats. So he's doing well. He's just brand new. So last year in AAA, in 427 at bats, he hit 10 home runs and stole 12 bases with a 265 average. That's Ke'Bryan Hayes. We saw him last year at the Arizona Fall League. Moving on to the Cardinals. Well, the Cardinals let Chicago win their 23rd of the season. Everybody, you have to love David Ross. You just have to love this guy. He's so likable. And Darvish carried a perfect game through 5 innings. He was actually pleased when when the perfect game was no longer an option. He said that he had a lot of pressure on him right then. So he a perfect game through 5. He finished with 11 strikeouts. He allowed 1 hit. That's it. 1 hit. He leads the National League in ERA with 1.44. He leads the National League in WAR with 2.1. He didn't walk anybody. He has 7 wins in his last 7 games started. So he's won each of the last 7. The 1 hit he did give up to Matt Carpenter, it was a home run. But David Ross spoke of Yu Darvish and his first pitch strikes yesterday, and how 17 of 22 were first pitch strikes. He left the game with a season high 25 called strikes. So he says, like, through the interpreter, Yu Darvish says that the last time he faced the Cardinals, he didn't do well. And then you look at the stats, and the stats are like, well, actually, he didn't do bad at all. He allowed 8 hits, but he didn't. There were no crazy runs scored, earned runs, or home runs allowed, or any of that. But Darvish said that he felt like he struggled against the Cardinals last time he faced them. So he worked on, what does it say? He worked on something. He looked at video and he decided to throw secondary pitches more often to them. David Ross was bragging about that too, and how good he is able to locate these secondary pitches. But Darvish is unbelievable right now. So over his past 7 starts, I told you he's won all 7. He has a .98 ERA with 58 strikeouts against 8 walks and 46 innings. And across his last 21 starts, this goes all the way back to the second half of last season, he has a 2.26 ERA with 181 strikeouts, 15 walks, 15, okay, in 131 and 2/3 innings. He's got a 199 batting average against, okay? It's crazy how good he is right now. Hi, Shaman. J.R. Mance, nice to see you. Big Al on the prowl is here. Hey, love it. Nice to see all of you. Brad Miller. Are any of you ballsy enough to pick up Brad Miller? I I just can't bring myself to do it. But I mean, I remember a time when Brad Miller was exciting because he could steal bases, he could hit home runs, but his batting average was so horrible. You had to really cringe just to put him on your team. But now, last year, he was kind of under the radar, not being noticed, but he slugged 610 last year in 66 games with Philly. His hard hit rate this year is 51%. He's just crushing. Wait, maybe he didn't steal. Did he steal bases? Like now I'm picturing the stats for him, and I see the stats. It's like 30 home runs and no stolen bases, but I could be wrong. Whatever it is, he hits the ball hella hard. It's a 51% hard hit rate. His strikeout percentage is down, right? He used to strike out 27% of the time. Now he's striking out 19% of the time. That's a huge improvement. So it makes me wonder, do I believe this? I'd like to look at his batting average on balls in play, even though a lot of people say that doesn't really matter. I still look at it just to see. I mean, especially when you have a guy like this that's, I mean, his average, that I know for sure, okay? This I know is a guarantee. Brad Miller's always had the worst batting average, so bad that it's almost impossible to put him on your roster, but he's doing well. He's doing very well. The Braves play yesterday? Yeah, let's move on. The Braves and the Nationals played game 1. We have the Nationals Braves. The Braves beat the Nationals 7-1. The Nationals lost 9 of 10 entering yesterday. Is there 2 games for this? Hold on a second. But Trey Turner is on fire. Okay, I'll tell you that much. And I know that the Nationals won one of these games. That the one that I have listed here is not the one. Washington 10, Atlanta 9. And the other game was Atlanta 7, Washington 1. The Nationals had lost 9 of 10 entering yesterday. Trey Turner is 19 for 33 on the road trip. Batting average is up to 371, and he is that is including these back-to-back zeros that he got in Philly earlier this week. 46 hits in the last 26 games, and he leads Major League Baseball with a 371 batting average on the season. Trey Turner, though, is he going to steal bases? He did steal a base. Yes, he stole a base yesterday. He's got 4 stolen bases now. So, I mean, you're not getting the stolen bases from him, but I think that you're getting other stats from him. So how disappointed can you be, really? Juan Soto was scratched with elbow soreness, and we don't know a lot about that. We'll just kind of have to see what happens there. Don't be surprised if they put him on the injured list. Game 1, Voth pitched 4 2/3. 3 home runs allowed, this guy. 23 batters, 88 pitches, and 8.26 ERA. He's not rosterable. Asdrubal Cabrera on my bench hit a triple yesterday. Michael Taylor, what can you say except for the fact that he's Michael Failure to me, and he made an error. So I don't know if that they scored 1 run against Atlanta, and then they scored 10. So Malone, what up and down. This guy has zero consistency. Malone pitched 4 innings, 1 earned run. 6 hit, earned run, 3 strikeouts. Adam Duvall, he hit his 4th double yesterday. Ronald Acuna hit home run number 7, and Ronald Acuna only has 13 RBIs. That's half as many as who can we say? I mean, who has Eugenio Suarez has 22. So Acuna is obviously not getting the RBIs that you would want, but you shouldn't expect because you know he bats leadoff. So Dansby Swanson, 24th RBI. He hit his 6th home run. And the other game, I didn't take any notes, so let's just check that out real quick. There's plenty of other games to take notes. Guess who? So the second game for the Nationals and the Braves. No, this is the first game. Of course, they're only 7 innings, and so when the Nationals come out, they both teams start scoring right away. They both score 1 in the first inning, and then Atlanta scores 2 in the second. They scored every inning. There was just never a dull moment in this game. Check out the pitching. Who is this? Who are these people? Crow, Finnegan, Rainey, Suero, Harris, and Hudson. Hudson got a save yesterday, number 7. That's good. I like it. Will Smith got the win for Atlanta. Let's see for hitting. Austin Riley, home run number 7. Acuna Jr., home run number 8. Freddie Freeman, home run number 6. And Travis d'Arnaud, home run number 5. And then on the Washington side, Trey Turner, home run number 9. Gotta love it. And that's that for them. I don't know how they scored all these runs. They only hit 1 home run. Eric Thames hit a double. Who's leading off? Victor Robles leading off. He's been dropped in a league. One of my leagues, Victor Robles has been dropped. He's pretty disappointing this year, too. Let's move on to the Phillies and the Mets. Are they going to remove Robert Gsellman out of the rotation even before they get him completely stretched out? 8.68 ERA as a starter. What is going to happen to Billy Hamilton, who was just designated for assignment by the Mets? And should a team need some speed, would they be willing to pick up Billy Hamilton? Maybe they could use him as the guy. I mean, if he only has one role, if he only has one thing to do, he could be that guy that comes in extra innings and gets to stand on second base, because he can't get on base. And if he's already on base when the inning starts, then they have a better chance of getting a run. And I don't think that's a horrible idea, but you would have to be very sly about how you – I think it has to be the last hitter that was up before that inning, so he could pinch hit. I don't know how they would do it, but it's possible. He's sitting out there available for a team. The Phillies have not lost since Sunday. That's last Sunday. They've won 5 in a row and 10 of their last 11 games. They're 19-15 on the season, and that's 2 games behind the Braves for the National League East. Arrieta pitched 7 innings. Arrieta! Great. Yay. Nice to see him. 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, a home run. It only took him 11 pitches to get through the 7th, and the management was about ready to pull him out. They were questioning whether or not they should let him go back in the 7th. He was having a good outing, and it's like you want him to continue on that good pace, that good streak, but he did want to go back in. It only took him 11 pitches to get through the 7th. It was one of the best outings of in the recent past. He might have had his worst outing of his entire career last outing. He barely made it through 1 inning, and he gave up like 7 runs, and it was just a horrible scene. I think Roman Quinn stole 2 bases yesterday. Lenny loves him. Lenny will be happy to hear that. Number 8, 7 and 8, and then Gene Segura to number 2. Gene Segura is not stealing bases. He's only stole 2 on the season after last night. Rick Porcello went 6 innings. If you're in a points league and they give you lots of points for innings pitched, like, Porcello is not horrible. As long as he can keep the earned runs down and keep the walks down, he's like, I don't know how to explain it. He's not good for a roto league. I could tell you that right now. But if it's a points league and if you get 3 points per inning pitched, then Porcello is not a horrible addition. And he's free. So, Anyway, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, didn't walk anybody. Conforto hit his home run. But, I mean, you think that Conforto's having a good season. I've been thinking that Conforto's having a good season. I was thinking he's having a really good season. He's not. He's not having that great of a season. I mean, he's having a decent. He's only has 7 home runs, though, after last night's home run. That's only 7. I just thought he was having a real good season, so obviously I'm not paying a lot of attention. Okay? Anyway, I like Conforto, and I think everybody's pleased. And Robinson Cano is hitting, so what's up, Mets? Seattle traded 5 players. Right before the trade deadline, they And now, after they get rid of 5 players, they now win their 3rd game in a row. Kendall Graveman is like the team favorite because he just wants to pitch, and he pitched out of the bullpen last night. He threw a 1-2-3 7th inning, and he's had a lot of problems. It took him 2 years to get back from Tommy John surgery. He then came back and he worked really hard to come back, and then he had a neck problem. He took some time off with the neck issue, and then the doctor told him that if he continues to pitch the way he's pitching, that his neck is never going to heal. It's just going to keep getting worse. So he spent some more time injured, and then they came to a conclusion that it would be best for him to go to the bullpen, that he would put a lot less strain on his neck, obviously, by only throwing an inning at a time or whatever. And he was excellent, and he was so stoked about it. And he just has an excellent attitude. Of course, he's on a 1-year contract, and they have an option. The team option for next season is $3.25 million, and he just really wants to pitch. He's like, I just want to be helpful. I just really want to be around the guys. I just really want to be in baseball. That's where my heart is. That's what I want to do. And I don't care if I'm pitching 1 inning. I don't care if I'm pitching in the 7th inning or the 9th inning or whenever. He just wants to be part of the team, and everybody really appreciates it. So he is a huge favorite in the clubhouse. Kendall Graveman, his pitches were they were clocked. They were clocked at 95 to 99 miles an hour, and 13 pitches it took him to get through the 7th inning, and he was really happy about it. And we'll see what happens moving forward. But you definitely can expect to see Graveman in the bullpen, not as a starter. And I mean, there's a place for all of these pitchers, but I can tell you that the management, the players, they all really like him. They think, he's just good, positive energy to have around. And Kikuchi, what's up, dude? Maybe Kikuchi's figured it out. He struck out 7 yesterday in 6 innings, and he only allowed 2 hits and 1 earned run. So Kikuchi, everybody loved him when he came over. Everybody couldn't wait to spend their money fast enough on him. And you know how I feel about it. I'm like, just don't do it. It's you know nothing. Whatever he did, okay, before, that's not the major leagues, and it took him a little while. But that's not to say that he doesn't have the talent. That's not to say that he's not going to be a great pitcher. I do think that Kikuchi is worth grabbing in leagues if he is available still. Evan White, a 2-run bases loaded double in the 4th inning, and then J.P. Crawford, a 3-run homer in the 8th. And Ty France, who was acquired by San Diego on Sunday, drove in a run in his first at bat in the new Mariners uniform. So Kyle Lewis, Lenny talks about him a lot. Oh, it's been a rough season for the Mariners, but yeah, he's batting .368. He's got 7 home runs. He's been worth 2 WAR, and he is not a disappointment at all. Number 11 overall pick in 2016. He's 25. He's ready. I mean, he's worked his way up through the minors. He's ready to play. So the Mariners entered the season. They were not going to play their starter. I mean, they were not going to worry about playing their prospects and their rookies at all. They already made that very clear. Like, out of all the teams, they were very clear about the fact that they were going to use this season, even when it was going to be a full season, they were going to use this season as just a practice, getting ready, getting their youngsters acclimated, and they weren't really preparing to make the playoffs or anything like that, and they probably still won't. But it's nice to see that they're meshing well. They're getting to, they have some camaraderie on that team. And let's move on. Houston and Los Angeles Angels. Angels scored 3 runs in the 1st inning. They totally just drove Lance McCullers out of the game before he even made an out in the 1st inning. Mike Trout comes in, and I mean, this is not going to be surprising, but he tied the home run record for the Angels. The home run record for an Angels hitter is 299 with Tim Salmon. He's still involved in the team. He was actually there last night. Trout did it in less games than Tim Salmon did, but I mean, Trout is what? You can't. He's 8-time All-Star, 3-time MVP. He's humble too. Trout is very humble, and he is just seem. I haven't met him myself, but he carries himself with like lots of, just shows a lot of respect. Just very humble. Just whatever he's doing his Mike Trout thing. Shohei Ohtani, though, could be coming around. He hit his first walk-off yesterday, even though it wasn't a homer. It was a 2-run single. That's because Mike Trout got to start at second base. And so Ohtani hit, and it scored 2 runs in the 11th inning. And Ohtani says that he was tweaking his stance to stand more upright in the batter's box. And he says that he really thinks that it's helped him, so he's going to just continue standing upright more. Dylan Bundy almost got yanked out of the game in the 4th inning. I think it was the 4th inning. It was, let's see. This is what it turned out to be. It turned out to be not so bad, but there was some drama about halfway through this 7 innings that he did make it through, 8 strikeouts, and 2 earned runs on 6 hits with 8 strikeouts over 7 innings. His ERA is only 2.49. He was almost taken out after the 4th inning. He gave up 2 runs, and he didn't get a decision because the bullpen blew a 3-run lead in the 9th. But they still won the game, thanks to Ohtani. Marcus Semien out of the lineup yesterday. He says his side was feeling more intense than a similar injury that he had in the past. He says that, make whatever you want out of this. I did a double take. I was like, what does that mean? He says he was doing non-baseball activities during the break. You know, the A's took off like they played for the first time yesterday since last weekend. And Marcus Semien says that he was doing some non-baseball activities during the break, and he wasn't taking batting practice yesterday. He says that he's got this injured side. What non-baseball activities? What does that mean? It makes me feel like it's something that he doesn't really want to say what he was doing, but like that could be what hurt him. Like what not? It makes me think like Madison Bumgarner riding his motorcycle, or Bauer playing with his drone, and I don't know. It makes the imagination just run wild about like what could these non-baseball activities be? I mean, okay. Anyway, that's we'll talk more about, I don't know if we'll talk more about Oakland. Did we already talk about Oakland? Chris Davis is the worst. Chris Davis with a K is the worst. I don't even know if he's playing anymore. He just has zeros across the board. Every time I look, it's always zeros, whether or not he has at bats or not. So it's pretty bad. I don't know what happened to him, and I don't know if he'll ever be the same again. I was willing to give him a benefit of the doubt because he was hurt in 2019 for a good chunk of the season, but he's been on my bench. He's one of those players I have a really hard time cutting because I know what he's capable of doing. But you know, if it comes down to it, he's gonna go. It's not that important to keep him. The Twins and the Tigers. The Twins beat the Tigers 3-2. Minnesota scored in the top of the 7th to tie the game and go into extra innings. They scored again in the 8th to win. This is game 1. 11 hits to Detroit, 6 hits. Whistler pitched 2 innings, struck out 3. He's got a 9.6 ERA, 0.96. 30 pitches, 7 batters. And then Romo got a win. He's 1-1. Polanco stole a base. Jonathan Scope, he drove in his 21st RBI and hit a triple. He's having a good season for sure. Candelario stole a base. Where's he been? I haven't even seen his name one time all season yet. Milwaukee has won. Okay, one thing about the Twins is, and we'll talk about this I wrote the notes in a different game. It's going to be either in the Cleveland game, the Twins game, and the White Sox. These three teams are so close in the standings. The White Sox pulled ahead yesterday by a half a game, but Cleveland and the Twins are tied a half a game behind the White Sox. How fun is that, right? That's pretty fun. Okay, so we talked about Minnesota. Let's move on to Cleveland against Milwaukee. Lots of interleague play. Milwaukee's won 5 of their last 7. Manager Craig Counsell now is 3rd on the all-time franchise list for wins as a manager. That's good for him. Okay. Corbin Burnes, 6 innings, 7 strikeouts. The guy strikes out a ton of batters. What can you say? He strikes out a ton of batters last year too. 53 strikeouts in 38 innings pitched this year with a 2.35 ERA and a 1.04 WHIP. He's pitching. He's pitching very good. Keaston Hira is coming around. He homered on Wednesday, and then last night he had a go-ahead double and a 4-run 7th and a 2-run home run in the 8th. So he has at least 1 hit in 14 of his last 18 games, including the last 5 games straight. So little disappointing to start the season. Definitely needs to be in your lineup every day at the moment. He is also trying to stand more upright at the plate, said that in an interview. And Carlos Carrasco quietly having a good season. 6 innings pitched, 6 hits. It's so nice to see him back in action after dealing with cancer, getting through cancer, and being brave like that, ready and willing to come back with or without COVID. He just didn't seem scared at all. He was itching to come back. And unfortunately, Carlos Santana made an error yesterday. It cost 2 runs, but he makes up for it in all kinds of other ways. Okay. The White Sox beat Kansas City 7-4. Let me check the chat room. How's everybody doing? Good. Everybody's chatting. Good morning, Guest Davis. Good morning, Mitchell. Hi, Star Dog. Everybody. The White Sox. Jose Abreu. Unbelievable. Eloy Jimenez. Unbelievable. Abreu extended his hitting streak to 18 games. He leads the majors with 38 RBI. And he absolutely deserves some kind of award. This guy has been he's been so good in his career. And he even when the White Sox were horrible, Abreu was playing the same way then as he does now. And it's so nice to see that they built a good team around him, and that he's going to be with the White Sox. That's where he loves to be, and that's where he belongs. And Abreu, even when they were horrible, he was 100 RBIs. I didn't even know that. Lou Landers pointed that out to me a couple years ago, and I was like, what? You just automatically didn't even think that he would drive in 100 runs because the team was so bad. You have to have runners on base to drive in runs, right? So anyway, Jimenez, he's excellent. He had 3 more hits yesterday and an RBI. Alex Colomé, it took him 40 pitches to get through 1 1/3 innings, but he definitely earned his 8th save. And when I say earned, I mean earned, okay? 40 pitches. And it's just exciting in the American League East. That's just a fun division to watch. Too bad we can't go to games. That would be very fun. Rookie right-hander Dane Dunning came 1 out short of his first career victory in his 3rd career start. He struck out 4, he walked 4, and he allowed 3 runs on 5 hits in 4 2/3. Threw a career high 88 pitches, and they said no, that was not even an option to put him back in after that inning. He was up to 88 pitches. Obviously, it's probably best to pull him out. He did get into some trouble, okay, after he gave up 2 runs in the 4th inning, and then they lost the lead over that, I'm pretty sure. 2 runs in the 4th, and then he had the bases loaded. He was able to pitch his way out of this problem. He was able to pitch out of a bases loaded issue and get Dozier out and Whit Merrifield out and that was that. So that's always good to see for a youngster to be able to get into a situation that's really sticky and just mentally pull himself out of it. That's not easy to do. So here we go with Matthew Boyd. Matthew Boyd. I picked out Matthew Boyd, okay, in Tout Wars. And somebody dropped him, but this is a points league, and this guy is a points master. So I don't know what they were thinking. I do know he had some horrible starts to begin the season. So I really probably don't even blame the person for dropping him, but I picked him up. I've spent some money on him, and I said he is going on my roster, and he's been pretty good. Like the fact that he gets deep into games, that helps out a lot with these points leagues. But Matthew Boyd, like when I started reading the rap about this game right here, I was like, oh no. Actually, it was some notes that Lenny sent me, and it said that Matthew Boyd, this is what I read. Matthew Boyd allowed multiple home runs to start the game. It is the third time this season that he has done that, making him the first pitcher since 1900 to allow back-to-back leadoff home runs to start a game 3 times in an entire career, okay, much less one season. And he has done that just this season. Then I turn around and I see that Matthew Boyd pitched 6 innings. So he made it through the first. I assumed that he was done after that. Like most pitchers are yanked if you give up multiple home runs in the first inning. Not just the first inning, but the first batter, right? The first batters. Okay, that he's got some crazy home run numbers. Okay, you have to be. Anyway, let me read it to you again. He allowed multiple home runs to start the game. The third time this season that he's done it. It makes him the first pitcher since 1900 to allow back-to-back leadoff home runs 3 times in an entire career, much less in one season, which he has done. Okay. Anyway, he has allowed multiple home runs in 16 of his last 32 starts. 47 home runs allowed in 170 innings pitched. 47 home runs allowed in 170 innings pitched. 170 and 2/3 innings pitched. Okay. In 9 of the starts, okay, he only gave up 0 home runs. And in the other 16 starts, he gave up multiple home runs. He's hard to figure out, but just if you expect him to give up home runs and you're like, okay with that, you're like, I'm just going to prepare myself. Matthew Boyd's going to give up some home runs right away, but then they're going to leave him in for 6 innings and he's going to strike out 8 and he's only going to have 2 earned runs because the home runs that he allows are right at the beginning. So nobody's on base. And that's, hey, if you're going to give him up, you might as well give him up early. And he didn't walk anybody. So all in all, Matthew Boyd, let's see what he gave me last night. Let's see what he did for me. I'm tied for first place in this league with Ian Kahn and Matthew Boyd, 22 points yesterday. I got 78 points in pitching, but he ended up with more points than Bauer. Yes, that's right, more points than Bauer. Dylan Bundy, 27 points. So that's these innings, man, they mean something for sure, okay? For sure. Today we have some other pitchers today and tomorrow, and then this week's over. But we changed the Tout Wars way that it's structured. It was a head-to-head league, and now because of the number of weeks is all whacked out, we're just playing every week. You compete against everybody. So the person that has the most points for that week, they get 12 points, and so on down the line. So Ian Kahn and myself are both tied with 41 wins, and he's got great pitching too, and I have great pitching. We have teams that are like going head to head. Like it's really a fun league. I'm hoping that I would love to win Tout Wars. I would love to win. I really would love to win, and I will just keep trying until I do. You just keep trying. So the Yankees, Baltimore, Yankees 6, Baltimore 5. King is pitching for the Yankees. 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and 2 home runs allowed. 74 pitches, 19 batters. Chad Green got his first save yesterday because Chapman came in the 7th inning to strike out. He struck out 2 and walked 1. I was a little concerned when I saw that Green got the save. I said, where's Chapman? Well, he came in what would have been the last inning, the seventh. They went into extra innings. Yeah, they ended up going 9 innings. And the Yankees did win, but Baltimore tried really hard. Stolen base, Wade. Gary Sanchez hit home run number 7, probably struck out like 3 or 4 times too, because that's what he does. And he only has 15 RBIs on the season. And guess what? Andujar got his first RBI. Is that true? I just saw RBI 1, and I'm pretty sure I did a double take, and I'm pretty sure that's true. Andujar got his first RBI. Maybe it was just, no, I don't know. Eshelman, 2 1/3, 3 hits. This is for Baltimore. 1 home run allowed. Mullins, okay, Cedric Mullins, home run number 2. Rio Ruiz, home run number 7, and drove in his 18th RBI. And Renato Nunez, home run number 10. Nunez, home run number 10. We knew he could hit 30. We knew he could. I just wondered about Renato Nunez and Rio Ruiz, where they were going to play for sure. I wasn't really that comfortable, but he drove in number 23, and Hanser Alberto stole his second base. So then you move on to game 2, or maybe I have them backwards, but whatever. There's 2 games, the Orioles and the Yankees. The Orioles beat the Yankees in this one 6-3. The Orioles, I'm very pleased for them right now, and you will be too after you hear the fact that the Orioles, they got their first win over New York in 19 tries. They also snapped a 19-game losing streak at Camden Yards against the Yankees, and that dates all the way back to July of 2018. They came 1 loss from tying the all-time record for one team at home against a single opponent after dropping game 1 6-5. So an all-time record of losing, basically. They came 1 loss away from an all-time record of losing to the Yankees, which nobody likes to see. So good job, Orioles. You are not going to go down in history. Not this time, anyway. Mountcastle, though. It's been 2 weeks exactly since, I think it's been 2 weeks exactly. It's been 2 weeks since he was recalled from their, I don't know whatever they call it, their taxi squad. He's been the best hitter in Baltimore since then. He hit a home run, drove in the game-tying run. He went 3 for 3 last night, and he's been very good. Santander is another one. Been very good. He's got 10 doubles, 10 home runs, 27 RBIs, but I did hear that Santander has not been hitting as well lately. I'm not sure if that's, I don't have him on any of my teams, but Luke Voigt, he's a good surprise. He's shown his power, and the only reason that he ever gets playing time, really, and a lot of Yankees are like this, is because there's always injuries. Aaron Judge is always hurt. Stanton is always hurt. Voigt is hitting .311 with 10 home runs and 25 RBIs. He's got a .730 slugging percentage. He leads the American League. Is that true? We just talked about, the other person we talked about was leading the National League. So prior to the first game yesterday, the Yankees put a 10-day injured list with right elbow bone spur that he got after he dove to catch a ball on Thursday. And Loaizaga on the 10-day injured list, retroactive to September 2nd, with a medical condition that prevents him from playing, whatever that means. So Aaron Judge, he increased his baseball activities. Whoop-de freaking do. Okay, Aaron Judge, sorry. Aaron Boone says this in quotes, based on the injury and based on how he's tracking now, I'm confident that Aaron Judge will be back before the postseason starts. We'll see. I'll believe it when I see it. Okay? I will believe it when I see it. Tampa Bay and Miami. Miami, another team that's surprising. They didn't beat the Rays yesterday. They lost. The Rays beat them 5-4. Pablo Lopez pitched 4 innings, but the one pitcher that I like here is Fleming, Josh Fleming. I might pick him up in Tout Wars. Am. I mean, he's a rookie. He had his second. So this last night was his third big league start. He's 24 years old. In his second start, which was last Saturday, he struck out 6 over 5 1/3 scoreless innings against the Marlins. He just allowed 3 hits, and Tampa Bay has always been very good about pitching. He didn't walk anybody. Just 3 hits allowed. And then last night he threw 5 innings, 4 earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, and 2 home runs allowed. So, he's going to have bumps, and he's going to see bumps in the road, but there's some good things to look at for this guy. Entering yesterday, he had a 1.74 ERA, a 0.87 whip, and a 9-2 strikeout to walk ratio across 10 1/3 innings in the major leagues. Tampa Bay is a good team. They're a relatively good team. They've always been very good about bringing up pitching. The fact that he gets, he pitched 5 innings, 6 innings. So to me, that's a great sign, meaning that they're not going to throw him out there and he's going to only go for a couple innings and then just you get ripped off. I am going to definitely put some money on Fleming tomorrow. Look at me. I'm like so prepared that I'm ready to do my bidding today. Maybe I'll get some bids in this afternoon. Brandon Lau, excellent. He's not that much of a surprise, though. I mean, he had a great half of a season last year, but ended up hurt, so he wasn't able to. That's why he stayed under the radar. That's why you got him for good amount. So, but he is crazy good. 313. He's batting 313. That's a surprise. He's got 9 home runs, and you just set it and forget it with Brandon Lau. Love it. Okay, Boston and Toronto. Boston's horrible. What are you going to do? Poor Boston. The Blue Jays beat them 8-7. They're probably just wanting to get this season over with. I don't blame them. When was the last time, Taco, are you here? When was the last time, Taco, that the Red Sox won 12 or less games in a 39-game span? When was the last time? I'll give you a couple minutes. Anybody want to guess? Good morning, Malpal. Too bad we already talked about San Diego and how good they're doing and how you must have been having such a hard time yesterday watching Luzardo pitch against the Padres. And, I mean, the Padres are an exciting bunch to this right now. They're an exciting bunch, and I'm rooting for them for sure. No doubt about it. Okay, so going back to the Red Sox, when was the last time they won 12 or fewer games in a 39-game span? That was, it's been a while. Longer than that. It happened, so it's been a while. Yesterday, I benched Travis Shaw. What does he do? You know what he does. Right, home run, number 4, 2012. Yes, Big Al on the prowl. You got it right. You're right. Big Al on the prowl. 2012 was the last time. That was, wait a minute. They won the World Series in 2004, 2008, and why do I want to say that they won the World Series in 2012? That's not true, though, right? Anyway, Jansen hit a home run, number 3. That's a disappointment. Grichuk drove in his number 26, RBI number 26 for Grichuk. He's right up there. Right up there with the rest of them. So Grichuk, I didn't think he was going to even get to play every day. And I didn't think Travis Shaw was going to play every day either. I don't think he is. But it helps Travis Shaw that Vladdy Jr. has not. Oh, wait. Is Vladdy playing first base? Anyway, guys in Toronto that we didn't think were going to play every day are playing every day. And Travis Shaw, I really hope that he's, he said last year that he entered spring training. he changed his batting stance, and during the middle of spring training last year, he decided that it was not working for him. It was horrible for him, and when he tried to switch back, it did not work. He could not switch back mentally. So he spent like the entire off season and even some of the end of last season really working to get his old batting stance, his batting stroke, whatever, back. And he was feeling great going into this season, and then COVID hit and all this. So, okay, in 2013, yeah. Um, I have a story. I probably shouldn't tell it because it's kind of crazy, but back in 2013. In 2013, you say that the Red Sox won the World Series that year, right? It was that year that they were nearly asked out of the playoffs. They were playing against the Cleveland Indians. I remember it so well. I was working as a bartender and I was off work that night, but I was at that bar drinking at the sports bar, Spanish coffees, which are made with 151 rum. You light them on fire. It's with coffee and all of this. So it's a very dangerous drink. And I was so angry at the Red Sox. I was like, they're so bad. They're going to lose. They were down 2 games, or they ended up winning the World Series that year, but I was so pissed off. I was like, they're going to lose to Cleveland and they're going to be kicked out. It was like this. They lost 1 game, they were out. And I got so drunk that night that the police came to my condo a couple times. They came. I was listening to Fleetwood Mac like as loud as I could possibly get it, and the people around my neighbors called the police, and the police came, and they were. I don't really, to be honest, I don't really remember it that good, but they said to turn down the music, and then they were very nice, and I said okay, and I turned it down, and then they left, and then I turned it back up. And they came back 3 times, and they finally took me to jail for disorderly conduct, and they made me stay in jail all night long. And they dropped the charges, so I didn't like have to go to court or anything. They were just trying to teach me a lesson. But the police, the second time they told me, if we come back here again tonight, we are going to take you to jail if we have to come back here. And so then I'm looking out the front, and there's like this parking lot in the back side of my condo. So I'm looking out the front doors, and I didn't see them out there. So I figured they had left, and then they were actually like pulled behind the condo in the back parking lot. And so they could hear the music go back up, and then they took me. It's not very cool. Not a great place. Nobody wants to go there. So anyway, Verdugo, he made an error, the 4th error for Verdugo. But he's been good, especially since we thought that he wasn't going to even be healthy to start the season, and he came around and he's been pretty good. Zach Godley threw 3 innings, no bueno, 4 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 2 home runs allowed. And that's all. That's really, we made it through the games. I have a couple names on the list. I didn't really get a lot of time to like talk about them, but Daniel Bard is probably available, and I picked him up last week, but I'm a big fan of Daniel Bard, so I might be biased. But Ross Stripling, I don't know what's going on with Ross Stripling. What do you guys think? Because I do think that he has an opportunity to stay in the rotation now that he is in Toronto. And but when I look at RotoWire, which I find to be a very reliable website and where Lenny and I look and get a lot of our information, there's 2 pitchers. They just disappeared. Like San Diego had Cal Quantrill. He went to Cleveland. He's not even in their depth chart at all. It's not showing him as in the bullpen or in the starting rotation, like way down deep. He's not there. And then you go to Toronto Blue Jays and you say, where does Ross Stripling fit into this equation here? And they have Taijuan Walker listed as the number 2 starter, right behind Ryu. They have Ryu, Walker, Chase Anderson, Matt Schumacher, who is injured at the moment, and then they have Tanner Roark and Ross Stripling. So Tanner Roark, I mean, I think that Ross Stripling is a better pitcher than Roark. I think he's a better pitcher than Chase Anderson. Maybe not. Chase is okay, but regardless, Ross Stripling has not been having a great season, but we know from past history that he is a decent pitcher. He was good in his career so far. He's been pretty good. I mean, his ERA has been in the 3s, 347, 302, 375. Like his whip is always below 1.2 because he doesn't have a big problem with walks. But this year he's having a problem with walks. So we'll have to see. But I think he's worth taking a look at. Also, I mentioned Josh Fleming. And who else was the Zach Plesac? I saw him available in Tout Wars. Somebody dropped him, Zach Plesac. He's pitching Monday. That means he's probably going to get 2 starts next week. And Zach Plesac was having an excellent season before he decided to go to the bar and be stupid about his apology. Like, no apology would have been better than that apology, okay? So, live and learn, right? Lenny, you know the story. What else? That's it for the day. I made it 5 minutes after 1 hour, and that's it. Everybody, enjoy your Saturday, and that's it. Have a great Saturday. How do I stop this thing? I don't really know. How can I stop this? Oh, here. Bye, everybody.